South-North divide on population policy? No demographic dividend for the South any longer? Should the South be rethinking the two-child policy as Chandrababu, Naidu and MK Stalin are suggesting? Is the real concern delimitation and what it will do to the political influence of the southern states? I am joined by S. Dharani Dharan, the DMK spokesperson. Jyotsna Thirunagri is the TDP spokesperson. Poonam Muthreja is Executive Director, Population Foundation of India. Thank you all very much for joining us. I want to come to you, Mr. Dharani Dharan, first, because let's get the politicians. Why are you all suddenly calling for a review of a two-child policy when across the world there could be the fear that the moment you call in for a review of the two-child policy, you're virtually telling people have more children. And that could lead some fear to another population explosion in some parts. We go from controlling population to exploding populations.
I see. Firstly and foremost, southern states, in particular Tamil Nadu and also Kerala,
yes,
had been very successful in following Indira Gandhi's one-child policy in 1970s. So in order to incentivize the states that follow the one-child policy, that delimitation of constituencies based on population was put on hold. We had we had the amendment in 1976, and again another amendment was made in 2001 for 25 years. But now the BJP government is hinting that they would have delimitation exercise. If such a delimitation exercise is done, number of representation from southern states would reduce from 25%, that is number of seats right now from south of India is 25%, they'll reduce to 18%, and in states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar would nearly double. And in fact, overall in BJP ruled states or where they are dominant, their representation will increase from 40% to 60%. And
no, so is your fear declining? No, Mr. Dharani Dharan, is your fear declining political influence, or is your fear an aging population? Let's get this clear. Do you fear that your state will have an aging population, or do you fear that your state will lose its political influence?
See, firstly and foremost, it's the losing influence. In fact, even recently, after the Modi government has come to power, the Financial Commission, for the first time, has started following the 2011 census instead of the 1971 census. And because of that, the funding we receive also reduces. See, in fact, what Chief Minister said in the TNHRNC meeting was also misquoted. What he was trying to say is, in Tamil Nadu, we have the saying, "Padinaru petru peruvalvu valga," which means that have 16 children and have great life. This is Tamil historical saying. But he also went on to say that now we don't say that. Now no one says that have 16 children, have great life. We just say be married, blessed and have a great life. But he's saying the policies of the union government might shift us to that old saying. That's all he said. He never said that. He never said anything about have more babies or less babies. But this was a quote he made, which has been blown out of proportion.
No, you're saying it's just a minute. You made your point. You're claiming he's been misquoted. Just a minute. Jyotsna Thirunagri, the fact though is Chandrababu Naidu is not being misquoted. He's making it very clear that we must have a review of the two-child policy, urging families to have more children. He's worried about an aging population. Is that his worry? Or is your worry the same as the DMK, that you will lose your political influence if your population stabilizes while North India's population continues to grow?
Sir, good evening to everyone. The point is that Naiduji's concerns, they shouldn't be dismissed as, something very, very casual. The point is, the concern of Naiduji, it's a starting point for a more rational and a broader discussion, that rises above all these political and regional concerns. Let me put it very clearly, Rajdeep sir. It is above all. It is above the political concerns. It's above the regional concerns. It's above all these concerns. It's about the state.
Now, what is the concern? What is the concern? Is it aging population? Are you worried that you will go the way China did after a one-child policy?
Sir, let me complete, sir. My concern as a state and as the Chief Minister of the state, without a population boost for the state of Andhra Pradesh, we would be risking entering into an irreversible decline, where the elderly literally outnumber the younger generation, and the economy literally stagnates there, sir. We are worried about the economic growth. We are also worried about the aging factor and also the strain that it causes on the economy. And also, sir, this proposal of Naidu ji, it actually extends it aims to extend our demographic dividend, sir, where a larger proportion of the population is of the working age. That's our concern, sir. I think, Rajdeep sir, I'm clear. Our concern is to, make a larger proportion of the
Okay.
population of the working age, where it leads to prolonged economic growth due to a larger workforce contributing to the economy.
Okay, let me bring in Poonam Mutreja. But Poonam Mutreja, before you come in, I just want to put up a graphic and I want you to explain this to our viewers. The fertility rate in southern states, Andhra Pradesh 1.7, Karnataka 1.7, Kerala 1.8, Tamil Nadu 1.8, Telangana 1.8. So this is the NFHS National Family Health Survey 2019 to 21. So they've reached replacement levels in all these states. On the other hand, we look at the states with the high fertility. Bihar 3.0, Meghalaya 2.9, UP 2.4, Jharkhand 2.3, Manipur 2.2 and Madhya Pradesh 2.0. So you have a situation where the southern states have reached replacement levels. They've plateaued their population growth. The northern states still remain above average. Is this, as Chandrababu Naidu who's triggered this debate, is he right in saying this is a matter of concern? Could it lead to an aging population first in the south and then across the country?
It is true. We already have an aging population, much higher in the south compared to the north. We have more young generation and younger people in the north compared to the south. So the south is losing its advantage. The window is there for another 20 years for the south, but another 25 to 30 years for the north for a demographic dividend. But aging is a phenomena which is happening because of longevity. While fertility is declining, longevity is increasing, which shows progress. See, southern states, especially Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, they have shown huge progress, not just in terms of family planning or what is being called population control. They invested in education, health systems, better governance. Are they telling us that they want to go back to education systems and health systems that aren't better governed? Yes, it is going to the population.
They are saying
dynamics.
Review the two-child policy. They are saying review the two-child policy. Do not focus on that. Allow, if couples want to have more children, why not?
People don't want to have more than 2 children. In fact, they want 1.8 children average for the country. If you look at NFHS figures again. So when people want to have fewer children, look at the economic cost of bringing up a child in India. Education opportunities, the demand is far more, it outstrips supply. Look at health. Again, we see the same issue. You have malnutrition across this country. It's not just northern states. We need to respect the aspirations of women and families who want to have fewer children. Don't do your politics on the body of women and their reproductive justice and rights. Look at the issue head on. The elephant in the room is delimitation. And what you need to do is, Chandrababu Naidu is in the best place to speak with his coalition partners of finding a solution that states that have done well, like Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, are not punished, whether it is number of constituencies or the amount of funding they get. And aging, suddenly Mr. Naidu has raised that issue, and I'm very glad he's raised it, but not in the context of women having more children. That is flawed, and it hasn't worked in any part of the world. Once population declines and women decide because of education, geographical location, and other social reasons, they decide not to have children, there is nothing the world has been able to do anywhere else in the world, including the countries Mr. Naidu was naming. You cannot switch women's reproductive production on and off.
That's the question. That's the question, Jyotsna, to you first, because as I said, it's Mr. Naidu who's triggered it. We would have thought that a politician like him, who's very careful and measured normally about the words he uses, when he says, I urge families to have more kids, it can just send out the wrong signals. A lot of this is about signaling. And as is being pointed out by Poonam Mutreja, there's an economic cost involved for every family that then decides to have more children. This is the people don't, this is coming bottom up. The people don't want more children. Why are the politicians then forcing them to have more?
See, Rajdeep sir, when I gave my opening comments, I was very clear. I said we need to look at the broader aspect of it, first thing. And yes, sir, certain things, as you said, might signal wrongly. But if you remember when Naidu ji spoke about IT revolution long back, people said, no, he's speaking nonsense. He's not talking with relate to he's actually targeting agriculture. They said that too, Rajdeep sir. You were there then too. So my point is, we have to look at it in a broader aspect, and it's not about. And again,
no, what is the broader aspect? You see, what is the broader aspect? In 2024, what he is saying, he fears that by 2047, India will have an aging population. Therefore, we should abandon a two-child policy. But is he looking at the social and economic consequences of what he's saying at the moment?
Sir, let me complete, sir. When the two-child policy was brought in, it was the same Naidu ji again who said that no, according to that day's circumstances and situations, we wanted that. Yes, so it is dynamic, sir. We have to understand the dynamic situations also. And again, it's just not, it's a policy, that's a proposal from our end, sir. We are not imposing, first thing. We are trying to talk to people. It's just a discussion that
you want to ignite a debate. Okay, you want to ignite a debate and have a public debate on it, which is okay. That's a valuable debate to always have. The question is the way it will be interpreted. What is being seen, Salem Dharani Dharan, is somewhere this is becoming north versus south, or south versus the rest of India, especially north and east, where population growth rates tend to be higher. Is this, as I come back to it, simply southern states worried about declining political influence, southern states worried about whether they will be penalized for their better population growth figures?
See, firstly, it's not north versus south, it's not someone versus the other. It's versus fairness versus unfairness, right? We have followed the policy of the government, and which was desirable back in the days, because our TFR overall was around 4 in 1970s. So we did the right thing. But right now, by penalizing states for following birth control and trying to bring in delimitation and to increase the proportion of seats from northern states where Prime Minister Modi's party has an advantage, as gerrymandering, that's unfair, right? We are being penalized for unfairness. So we are being penalized unfairly. Right? So this is very wrong. As you rightly said, TFR in Tamil Nadu is 1.8, so we have more deaths than number of births. And TFR of states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar is around 3.5 to 4 even now. Right? So why are we being penalized here? If Prime Minister Modi and his party had encouraged states like Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, we wouldn't be having such debate. He should have taken us into confidence, and maybe in the Financial Commission, we should have been allocated more money for doing family control policy better, right? So, but not kind of disincentivized. He should have incentivized. So the problem comes from where? It comes from the policymakers in Delhi. So which is what makes us to start debates like this, right? In fact, it would have been really possible, and rightly so, if the Chief Minister vociferously said, no, I had urged the people to have more than 2 children. He could have said it. He didn't say it. But he wants to indirectly, subtly start a debate, right? Right? Why? Because BJP is forcing us in that direction. Because they want to do petty politics and do things that will show...
No, that's you see...
which will actually increase their winning probability in the near term, but which would be...
Mr. Dharani Dharan, you're saying the BJP wants to do politics...
the country in the long term, right?
The BJP wants... There should be a separate debate on delimitation. The problem is now delimitation is getting linked to population. These could well be two different issues. Your concerns over delimitation should be met. Perhaps that has to be a separate debate. Poonam Mutreja, is there a worry, as we see even now, that issues are getting confused? That the political parties of the southern chief ministers are worried that their political influence will decline because of delimitation in a couple of years after the next census, as and when that happens, they will have fewer seats in the Lok Sabha. But the economic and social costs of a large population will hit other sectors of the economy. Are we confusing the economic, social and political consequences of what is being suggested?
You know, population issues in India, whichever way you look at them, there is confusion in spite of the fact that we have rich demographic data. We knew, so the conflating the politics and dumping it on women is something that I would not expect from the two chief ministers, which have invested in women and have a legacy for investing in women's education and health, as I said earlier. So it is being conflated, it is being confused, and the wrong message is being sent not only to the people outside India, inside India, but to the women, that all that we do is try and control women's fertility, either grow more, have more children, or less have children, and this is so flawed. You don't expect...
But is Mr. Naidu does he have a point that we could reach an aging population by 2047? He's sending out a warning. He's sending out some kind of a warning. Is it a healthy debate to have or not have at all?
It is a healthy debate to have. In fact, I hope we can separate it from the politics of delimitation and have that debate in India, because the aging society is not only a problem for the future, it is a problem already in much of South, and that is very legitimate, his raising that question, but also in the North. And we do not have, as you know, Rajdeep, social security for older people. For months and years, we've had senior citizens sitting in Jantar Mantar because they don't have money for medicines. We need social security, we need better health system, and we need greater care and concern so that we don't have yet another disaster, which is the silver. It should be a silver dividend where we are taking care of our older people and not having the wrong debate, which is leading to asking women to have more children. Instead, let's have smart strategies. I expect that of Mr. Chandrababu Naidu for his state, like Kerala's doing. You know, Kerala's already preparing well for its aging population, investing in geriatric care, starting camps. This is an issue which they're dealing with more constructively.
So you're saying the real issue should be how do you invest in geriatric care? How do you invest to come to terms with an aging population rather than tell young India have more children? Am I correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
It's flawed to tell young India to have more children. Let's instead take care of our aging population. We must do that in any case, regardless of the debate and the reasons behind the debate, which is totally influenced by the impending delimitation exercise, which I do want to say is unfair to the South. We have to find a good solution and debate more on this in finding a win-win solution for the southern part of India.
Okay, let's leave it there. And that is an issue which could concern every part of India, geriatric care. And maybe Mr. Naidu can offer some solutions there. He's someone who's been known to be a chief minister who offers innovative solutions. He's even talked about a skill census instead of a caste census. But has he on this occasion with his remarks perhaps changed the terms of the debate over population? That's something to think of, particularly in the context of delimitation that's not too far away.